Hi guys, welcome back to the Yorkshire Modeller. We are now on to issue 9 of the Spitfire. So, in issue 9, what we actually get is some more details for the supercharger and for the engine as well. All these bits at the top here are the cast metal parts. We've got some bits, these two just here, that have the, it's like sort of a goldy, bronzy paint on the top, like a kind of a wire effect on there. Then a couple of bits that I'm thinking these bits here go with the exhausts, so the vents that come out the side. A couple more photo etch bits there, not photo etch, cast metal parts there, a few more wires and cables, and then some more plant on bits. Now these are all really big parts, so we're not going to have the same issue we had in the last video where we're going to have parts flying everywhere. Now I've said that, I'll be searching for one of those later on. I can pretty much guarantee it. So we'll bring the glue pot in and the glue as well. Now I've got all the parts just off to this side, just over here, so I can just grab them as I need them. So put the glue in there. So first part of the instructions are take parts 9.5 and 9.6. Note that 9.5 has slots in the top. Now these are these two pieces here. So the ones that have the little sort of nub just on that end there, and that one just there as well. So part 9.5 has the slots, so that's that one with those two little slots in. Test fit the parts together, and so they fit in nicely there. And the pegs on part 6 fit into the sockets on parts 9.5, and the protrusions match. So that's the protrusions there at the top. So that little nub type bit. When you're happy with the fit, apply a little super glue to the pegs and fix the parts together. So a little glue on that one, a little bit of glue on that one, just there. And then, whoop, no, don't you be flying everywhere. And then hold those together as well with a bit of super glue. There we are. So, right, that's that all glued in together. So that's the first part for this one, this issue done. The next one is take the engine pipe 9.4. So 9.4, these are the engine pipes here. So looking at the instructions, that one that I've just shown you is 9.3. 9.4 looks to be the one, when you're looking straight at it, this little curved bit that you can see just there will be on your left hand side. Just looking and following what's the pictures in the instructions there. Take the engine pipe 9.4, so that's that one, and the left engine cover 9.1 labelled L on the underside. That one's the right one, so that one will be the left one. So I'll see if I can get this on camera. Might not be able to. There you go, that little L just there. So that's the left one. Note that the curve of the pipe on 9.4, the blue arrow, so that's this curve just here, that little curve on that bit, fits into the notch as indicated. So that'll be that one there, right? Okay. So the notch that it's on about, it's dead tiny, but right in this bottom corner here, there's like a little kind of L-shaped groove cut out, so that's where we're gluing it to. Pegs near the end of the pipe fit into the holes in part 9.1. Check the fit, and when you're happy, apply a little super glue to the pegs and glue in place. So that should go there like that. That should go in there like that. That one in there like that, and then that fits in like that. So that is a snug fit anyway, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of super glue on the back of these parts. No, actually I'm not. What I'm going to do, because I don't have, there's like a little groove running all the way down there, and I don't want to get glue into that groove if I can avoid it. So a little bit of glue on that one, a little bit of glue on that one. And then making sure that's the right way around. Glue that pipe into place. There we go. So that's that first pipe. Just there. Oh, get it in focus. There we go. That's that pipe all glued together. Now it's the same with the other pipe. Take the engine pipe 9.3, which is that one, just there, and the top engine cover with the R on it, which is this one just here, and same again, just so you can see the little R. Make sure I see if I can get that in camera. Yeah, you can just about make it out on there, can't you? There you go. Make sure that everything matches up the same. Check the fit. When you're happy, apply a little super glue. So, just exactly the same thing again. And then we'll glue it together. Now, what I'll do actually before I do that is I'll show you. It's exactly the same on the other part that we've just done, but it's these top little holes. So that one there, and then there's another one over on this side just here, where the two pegs there and there are going to fit into. That one there, all done, so you can see there that you've got the sort of details all attached. Make sure I get it right for you. There, so that's that one done as well. And step 4 is take the assembly 9.5, 9.6, which is the round one that we did at the beginning. So this one just here with that little groove indent. What do they call it in the instructions? Notch. So that little notch there. And then what we're doing is we are fitting the assembly to 9.2 and 9.3 onto the top. So that's the one that we've just done. So that's the right one, isn't it? Note that the notch circled in step 3 fits against the rim at the right hand edge of the pipe with the blue arrow. Right, so that's going to go in there like that then. So basically, the little notch that's on that bit just there that I showed you on the other two parts, that fits against that kind of groove that's running around the top of the part there, all around where that notch is. So makes it a bit easier to line everything up that way then. So that's in there like that. And when you're happy with the fit, apply a little super glue along the edge of part 9.2 highlighted in red and fix in place. Hold the assembly in position until the glue has dried. Right, so this basically, you don't put it on these pins, you put it on this flat edge just here that runs all the way along. I don't know whether you can really make that out very clearly. So instead of putting it on these parts, put it on that flat edge, because then that flat edge will come into contact all the way down here where those little grooves are. So let me get the glue, and then so if we pull that all the way down there, spread it out as much as you can, and a little bit on this side. It does ask you to do it on the two little edges as well, all the way down here. So now, again, make sure you're getting that part the right way round. That should go in there like that, that should go in there. Like that. So that's all attached. And then step 5 is to do the same thing with the parts from stage 2. So that's this one, and then that little notch again is just going to go on the against that that kind of groove that's running all the way around the top. glue there, and glue there. Move that bit down there. Right, so where's that groove? There it is. So that's the right way round. Just hold that in place. Like that. Now what I have used in the past as well, if you're gluing these things together and you're worried or you want them to make sure they stick properly, super glue activator. I get this the same place I get all my other tools actually, from Boyce's in Whitby. It's only a few doors down from where I work anyway, so if I do need anything I could just nip in and get, you know, a new knife blade, or I mean that's where I got this screwdriver from. I've got sets of pliers and things like that. You know, side cutters. I mean these side cutters were about £5, £6, something like that. So you can get really good tools for really cheap. You don't have to go spending loads of money if you don't want to on, you know, like the Tamiya side cutters, or, you know, knives or things like that. You can do it with what you can pick up at a local hobby shop. But the glue on this looks like it doesn't actually need any activator on, so that's all there and all done and everything there, so that's good. Apply a little super glue along the edge of 9.1, which we've done. Hold this in place till the glue is dry. The inset below shows the finished assembly. So that's how it should look from the front, and then obviously top down there as well. So you've got all that. So that's that bit done. Next, it looks like we're working on some of the sprue components. So cut parts A and B from the frame 9.7, and they've done exactly the same thing this time. They've labelled them up 1, 2, 3 and 4 on here rather than A, B, C and D. So right, what we're looking at then is part A is this one just here. So it's the one with the looks like a little set of crosshairs on, so it's number 4, and then number 3 on the sprue is part B. So just cut those off there, and then this one, part B or number 3, it does look like it has a little pin, like a peg, just there at that top edge. So just be careful that you don't clip that off, just to be on the safe side. And then we'll just get this, sand this down a little bit. So that's those all done. Move that stick out of the way. So take part A and check how the raised area on part A fits into the recess on part B. So that's your recess on part B, the keyhole shape there, and then you've got that little circle part. I don't know whether you'll be able to make it out, it's a bit bright that, isn't it? There you go. That little circle just there, that fits in there. So it must fit in the other way around. Yes, it does. So that circle on the top there, and that little square bit at the bottom just down here is where that little peg fits into as well. So that seems to fit well. When you're happy with the fit, glue the two parts together. So a little bit of glue on that peg. What I'm also going to do on this one as well is I'm going to just put a little bit of glue into that groove at the bottom where the peg's going to go. Just to hold it a little bit more snug, then there we go, that's in. So that's those two parts all attached together just there. So that's that. Cut parts C and D from the frame. So C, D. So C is part 2, D is part 1. There, and then chuck the sprue away because that's everything, and then check how the shaped rim on part D fits into the recess on part C. So that would be that way around like that. That's good. So I'll just give these a quick sand. Now you want to be careful with sanding on these plastic parts as well, because the plastic underneath is like grey. but they've been painted silver, so you can see there where I've just, can you make that out? Where I've sanded it, and it looks like it's gone like a dark grey. That's just the plastic underneath. So on the back of this part, you've got that little kind of shape just there. That fits into the matching hole on that side just there. So they're all fitting together nicely. So all I'll do, a tiny bit of super glue all the way around on there. Like that. And glue that one in place there. So that is that one all glued into place as well. So that's that all glued in there. So that's those done. So now we need the supercharger that we've done in the previous issues. So we've got the supercharger just there. And let's have a look. So the assembly C and D, which is the one we've just done, fits on the side of the supercharger. A tab on part D fits into the slot at a slight angle, so the parts C and D are tilted. When you're happy with the fit, apply a little glue to the tab and fix in place. The insert on the right shows the parts in place. So what this one is, let's have a look, make sure. So it's that one and it's there. I'm hoping that's the right way around. No, it's not, it's the other way. That way. So it is this little tab just there, that little hole. You can just make that out. There we go, that's better. So it's just that little hole there, and the tab is just on the back there. Now this has to sit at a slight angle, but it has to tilt up and away. So when that's attached, it'll look like that. Now it does sit at a slight angle, which it does say in the instructions that it will do. So that's fine, that one's that side all attached. And then the assembly A and B, which is the other two parts, these ones just here with the kind of little crosshair on that one just there, fits onto the other side of the supercharger. A tab on part B fits into the slot on part 7.3. Again, the slot is at a slight angle, so parts A and B are tilted. When you're happy with the fit, apply a little super glue to the tab and fix in place. So that's that side. So if we do that side, and then that goes in that way like that. So the rounded section is at the top. So that's the right way up there, with the rounded section towards the top, and it fits into that little black hole just there, and it fits at a slight angle. Now I was then going to put glue all the way up on that part. So I was going to put it all the way up to this, on the silver bit, all the way up, sort of up here. I'm glad I didn't, because it doesn't all cover, so that's why you just put glue on the pegs. So that's that bit done. So now we're moving on to the cables by the look of this. So take the coolant pipe 1911. So let me have a look, see which one 1911 is, which is this one. So the coolant pipe is the one that is a little bit bendy, but still take care with it. It looks like that one. So that's the coolant pipe. And thread it across the top of the supercharger behind the two angle pipes, behind the large pipe. Right, so this one, let me make sure I'm getting the right way around. That goes in there like that, and then like that. With the branch of the pipe facing towards you in this view, the view circled. Fit the ends of pipe 911 into parts A and B and C and D as shown in the insets. Once in position, apply a little super glue to the ends and fix in place. So what we're doing with this is, that's your supercharger there. The pipe will go in behind these two angled parts like that, and then on these two parts that you've just glued on, there's a little groove on each one, like a little hole, and that's where the two pins on each end will go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bit of glue, and I'm just going to put that glue into that hole there. I need a bit more glue, I think, in a sec. So that's in there. And I'll slot that back through. Whoops. Like that. And then just push that end in like that. That's the good thing with these pipes being quite malleable. You can move them around quite a lot. Actually, is that the right? No, it's not. I don't think that's the right hole. It's on that side. Just having a quick look at the instructions, making sure that I'm gluing these into the right hole. So the sides C and D, there's only one hole there that you can fit it into. So that side's fine. The other side, though, there are two holes. There's a small sort of rectangular one and then a square one. The piece goes into the small rectangular one at the front. So it always makes sense to kind of double and triple check your instructions. The amount of times I've glued something into the wrong place, even on the Spitfire itself. I did it with the engine block. I was in a bit of a rush to finish the engine block, and this is on video. This is on the first video that I glued them in the wrong way around. So then afterwards I had to take them apart and do all that, and re-glue them all in. It was a little bit of a pain, but I got there in the end. And then I just touched up the paintwork. So that's that pipe in there at the top. Right. Take the assembled supercharger and the engine assembly. So that's the engine assembly that we've got there. Supercharger that we've got just here. From issue 8, identify the back of the engine, which is where those 4 holes are just there. Fit the supercharger backing 7.3 against the back of the engine. There are 4 pegs that fit into the 4 holes as indicated by the arrows. When you're happy with the fit, apply a little super glue to the 4 pegs and fix in place. So I've been checking this as we've gone along anyway, so I know that fits in nicely. So all I need to do is just pop a little bit of glue onto these pins. I'm going to get a bit more glue. And then we'll glue this part on as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So those silver prongs there and the pipe from the supercharger have to go towards the top of the engine. So that will all fit in together like that. There we go. So that's all in and attached just there. So that's the supercharger attached to the engine. Make sure that it's straight. Yep, so that's all done. Position the assembly from step 5 along the top of the block as shown. The large protrusion at the end of the pipe from parts 9.5 and 9.6, so that's that little protrusion just there. Fits into the pipe opening of the supercharger as indicated by the yellow arrow in the instructions. You can apply a little super glue to the edge of the protrusion to fix it in place right, but attachments in future issues will hold the pipe in place. Note that the recess on part 9.1, again circled in the instructions, will be used in the next step. So this bit, I am going to put a bit of glue on this just to hold it on. So just the glue going around that protrusion just there. All the way around. There we are. And then what we do is we take the engine that we've got here, and then this protrusion goes into that pipe on the supercharger just there. So that sits in there. Let me try and get this all lined up. So there's 2 little grooves by the look of it in the engine that this must sit between, because it won't fit like that, will it? No. There we go, put that in. try and get this to slot in there. There we go, that's in. Is it? Yep, there we are. There we go, so that's all attached in there. Don't think it should be up at that angle, but I'm sure it'll all settle. Ah, that's better. No, that's not better. Right. Looks like that's just popped off. One sec. One of the parts from this bit at the top here popped off, so I've just glued that back on, but there we go, that's all on and attached. Right, so take part 9.8, which is the pipe that has the big sort of black plastic bit just on the end of it there. And this piece is flexible but very fine, so handled with care. The black block on one end has a tab that fits into part 7.1. The other end is attached into a slight recess in part 9.1. Apply a little super glue to the part and fix in place. So let's have a look. So that fits in there. So on the supercharger, there's that little kind of square hole just there. That tab on this part goes into that hole. There's then a tiny little, tiny little kind of indent on the part just around here somewhere. That's where the end of the cable goes into. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that cable there for the moment. I'm not going to attach it to anything, the silver part of this cable, just so I know everything's in the right place before I carry on doing what I'm doing. Take part 9.9, which is the other silver cable with the little black plastic piece on the end, and then that fits into that groove just there. Let's see if I can get it better on camera. There you go. So that circular groove just there on the supercharger, that end fits into there, and then let's see where the other silver end of this part goes. Fits over the supercharger on the right hand side. The black tip fits into a hole on the back of the supercharger. On the other end fits into a slight recess on part 9.2, not visible. That's handy. So it looks like the silver part from here goes into a matching little groove on this side of the engine. So that's in there as well. So that's two of the cables. And the last of the pipes, 9.10, is fitted onto the side of the supercharger near the bottom. A square tab on the larger end fits into a square tab on the larger end fits into the socket on the side of the back part of the supercharger, and the other end has a small peg that fits into the side of the details beneath the engine. When you're happy with the fit, apply a little glue. So two pegs rather, one big, one small. So I'm guessing it goes that way with that one in there and that one in there. Yep, it does. So it's this little kind of indented groove just down here, and then this one just there. Let me get that lit up a bit better for you. There we go. So that one just there. So that's that all attached there. And that's it. Further details have been added to the supercharger and the top of the engine block, and the supercharger has been attached to the rear of the engine. So what we now have is the parts there all built and attached and everything looking nice and sparkly, and then just showing you on this camera as well, just so you can see how that all looks just there. Now I have got those two cables to glue in at the top. They are just going into two tiny little grooves in the top, so I'll get that all done, and then I'll show you what that looks like. But that's it really. That's the engine and supercharger all attached together. With issue Issue 9, issue 10, we get the exhaust system for the size of the engine plus pipe details and a pump. So they're the parts that we get with the next one. So yeah, that's issue 9 completed. So, how are you guys all finding this? Feel free to comment down below how you're finding your builds, if you've had any problems with any parts up to now. I have just found out that I have a little bit of an allergy to super glue because my nose is itching very badly, which I have noticed on all the other builds that I've done. They always seem to be, my nose is really itchy like down the side when I've been building, but yeah. That's that done, and I'll just have to deal with the itching. So please remember to like, share and subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model building geekiness, and I will see you in the next video for the Spitfire. And until then guys, happy modelling and take care.